Low Targ, our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was max effort good morning day. But before we get over to the details, I remind you guys to click like down below, help keep the likes higher than the dislikes. Looks like yesterday's training vlog is one of the few times we've done that. If we could keep that up, it would be great. So I tried this bar for the first time with a good morning. It was awkward, it was hard. I struggled getting into the position I wanted. There's some criticism and things, and again, some people who understand the system are actually coming in kind of defending what I'm doing. People are like, oh, that's not a true good morning, and it's like, guys, this is a power good morning. This is for a 1 rep max. This is not intended to build muscle, and I want to make that clear. And I've got later videos coming out that I've already filmed. I'm like, man, did I make this a month ago? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm something like 6 weeks ahead on my upload schedule. Right, I have at least 6 weeks worth of videos sitting on my computer that haven't been uploaded. I will have videos coming out discussing the angles and what we're doing with a heavy good morning. And what people need to remember with a max good morning, we are actually trying to replicate a lot of what we get from the movement pattern at the joint angles of a box squat. Okay, it's just less knee bend. And there's reasons we do that, and there's a reason you want to get these as heavy as your squat. Now in this one was decent. Back angle, maybe not perfect. I would have liked it deeper. I got deeper on the Cambered bar. Part of it's this bar. It does not feel right, which means I need to work at it. And then I went 20 pounds heavier. And the reason I needed to go 20 pounds heavier, yes, it was a slightly worse back angle. It achieved what I needed to achieve. It let me strain. I needed to hit one to where I really strained. It needs to be a max, because otherwise I'm not getting intramuscular coordination. People have to understand that. I need to strain on lifts every week. I have to on a single. I have to. Even if form breaks down, because I'm doing so much high rep and volume work, I'm not going to get the intramuscular coordination I need if I don't. But the other thing is, it also put me into a position that is the same back angle I would be at as if I good morning and almost turn a squat into a taco squat. If something goes wrong on a squat, kind of one of the things that we've said is we need to get our good morning as strong as our squat. Okay, that's still 30 pounds less than my last box squat max. Means it's not good enough. So how do we get it stronger? Well, we do more good mornings, and we do more upper back work and other stuff, right? So here people are going to say, oh, your back angle looks a lot better. Well, extrapolate that out to the strength. How much weight do I have on the bar? 265 pounds. Like, how do you figure? That's an 85-pound bar. Titan rackable Cambered bar is 85 pounds. Okay. So it's not 225, throw another 40 on. It's not a 45-pound bar. So I'm doing 265. Now this angle is clearly an acceptable good morning for building muscle. Now, I might do some strap supported, sling supported good morning so that I can get into that angle and test those from maxes also. In fact, that might be a good idea. I might definitely want to do some of that, right? It might behoove me to do so we can try to get an angle like this and see what I can get from a bottom up. And that's actually a very acceptable variation. But these people are like, wait, how many reps do you do? I did 20. That's how far we've come on this lift. How far we've come. You guys remember when that was like my 5-6 rep max? And I was already deadlifting over 600. Remember when I got to 225 for 10 with another bar? All right. And my all-out 10 rep max is 375 with this bar. So 265, I'm able to get 20s. I got 2 sets of 20. They were hard. Last set I only got, I think, 16 or so. That's all I had left. I was just fatigued. I was tired. And I'm actually really happy I was able to do good mornings. I pulled my right adductor down close to the knee, not exactly at the knee, maybe 4 or 5 inches above it. And I was worried I wasn't going to be able to do these good mornings with a wide stance. I was really scared. But I was able to max on it with no pain there. If I step certain ways, it hurts. So I've got a minor pull there, and unfortunately, I can't do glute ham raises, which sucks. And we can discuss that too, of one of the big perks of getting a minor pull, you really find out which movements work muscles. So we'll get over to that in a minute. But these good mornings, this is my muscle building. Okay, we're using these for the building. In sets of 20 with 265 pounds, we're getting some metabolic fatigue. Now, people would say, well, isn't that a little high? Maybe not, but not really. It's mostly lower body. Right? These are mostly lower body muscles involved. And we just hit a max. We just hit a straining all-out max. It was hard, where my form degraded. I had to cheat. Right? What ended up happening, I ended up shifting the knees further forward, turning it a little more squatty because I just couldn't handle it. But I locked it, and that's the point. It's not a contested lift, guys. There's no Good Morning Olympics. So there's no way to determine a meet legal. But I think this is what we need to understand. There is a spectrum between a good morning and a squat, isn't there? How many people talk about, oh, now you're squatting a good morning. People talk about good morninging a squat. There's a spectrum between them. They're actually a really similar movement. You know, the only difference between a good morning and a squat really is the amount of knee bend. The amount of degrees of knee bend. If you don't believe me, I put up a diagram a while back, and people didn't get it, showing them side by side my max good morning and a max box squat at the bottom position. All of the joints are at the same angle. Everything's at the same angle but the knee. It's just it's a squat with less knee bend. It's a power squat with less knee bend. That's what it is. So there's less quad involved, but there's more upper back involved, more hamstring because of the nature of it. But again, that was my volume work for it. We'll build muscle off that. Those are pretty good, pretty much PRs with that sort of weight for me in terms of reps. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a lot of real high rep stuff for this phase on everything. I also cranked out 5 sets of 15 on these again. I was a little worried because I have DOMs from yesterday. First day back from deload, did a lot of volume. My pecs, my delts, a little bit of lat, my triceps, they all have DOMs. So I hit it with a lot of volume coming back because I need these things to grow. So I was a little worried about these, but I was able to do them. And yes, this is a lot of volume on these. I need it. I need the upper back. I need it for all 3 of my lifts. What are we talking about there? Even for the good morning. We need upper back. Need upper back to help with good morning squats. We need upper back for my bench. And it's not going to hurt my deadlift, but we need the grip training for the deadlift. It's a weak link in my deadlift. This. Because we built all the other muscles up. How much stronger am I now on good mornings? Okay. Glute ham raises. Reverse hyper since I pulled 615. They're all measurably stronger. They're not just like 5 or 10% stronger either. They're all way up. My grip is giving out on the deadlifts. That's the reason that 625 deficit looked a little sloppy. Okay. Well, this is a good way to build grip. Do 20 sets of this a week, 5 sets every main workout. With that axle bar. Doing these to 15 because 15 is where pretty much my lats give out. But on some of them I have to re-grip. So here's me attempting to do the glute ham raise. I can't. My adductor cramped. That one that I pulled, it cramped on the right side really, really bad. So that sucks because I was completely looking forward to that. I want to get these back with more and more volume into my rotation. I was hoping to do up to 5 sets of 20 with body weight. Okay, but that also tells me something. And I'm like, I feel like these really help my squat more than my deadlift even. And it's the hip and the adductor. That adductor that I was able to do all those good mornings, and the adductor didn't hurt, did it? Because I need knee bend. It only hurts when I bend the knee to a certain point. Okay, and I noticed that messing with it. That put that knee bend in. Okay. That's going to help my squats. Those glute ham raises are going to be a critical exercise for building my squat. So hopefully that gets sorted, and if it's not feeling better, I'm not going to max squat next week. I'm going to have to do another type of good morning or something and then shift it down a week. Then we did shrugs. Why these shrugs? And why strict shrugging? Grip and trap. Because I don't need the axial loading of heavy ass shrugs. I don't need the extra compression on my spine. I get plenty of it. Needs to be easier to recover from. So we keep them strict, we keep them light, we keep them for a lot of reps. So 15s today, which is close to where my grip is giving out. The final set, I was struggling to hold on to that bar, especially with short breaks. Okay, I need the upper back, so we're getting trap. Look how much trap involvement we're getting. Now, are my traps getting a ton of volume? Yes, they're getting an enormous amount of volume right now. So we're doing 20 sets of inverted rows, and we're doing all those upright rows. Those wide grip upright rows hit the trap. Let's get the shrugs in too. It's extra grip work too. Now, is more trap going to hurt my deadlift? Absolutely not. No one's ever had a deadlift go down from getting too big of traps, even if they don't help you. They don't hurt you, that's for sure. I need the grip work. Double overhand, high rep shrugs with just chalk. More grip training. We need the grip specialization. The grip is what's going to make or break me on that deadlift. You know, I've had people say, Jason, I think you can get to a 700. I do too. But the only way I'm getting to a 700 is for me to build a grip that is rock solid holding 700. Okay? I have no doubt that my posterior chain can continue to get strong enough to do it. The grip has to get there. And we need that upper back to get there. Those are going to be the challenges. But mainly grip, and we've got to make it happen. So this stuff will make it happen. You've got to put in that work. And yes, I know my back is big. I'm aware of that. And when I lose the rest of that fat in the lower back area, I think it'll make a big difference. I think that'll be even more noticeable. Let me go ahead and get down another 5-6 pounds of body fat, and we'll assess. Because you can still see it there, but you know. Then I decided I needed to do more volume on these because I missed the glute ham raises, and I need to make sure my hamstrings and everything got sufficient volume. This needed to be a really hamstring dominant workout. I didn't get it. It ended up being a lot more back than hamstring. So I was going to do my 5 sets of 10, but then I realized I got 2 sets deep and realized this was too long. I'm like, I could have done way more than 10, even strict. And I looked down and started counting the plates. I missed a plate per side. Okay, I've been doing these with 315 for 10s strict, and I realized I had 225 on there. It's like, well, we got 2 warm-up sets. That's some volume. So I went ahead and got 315 on, and then what did we do? We did 6 sets of 10 instead of 5. Mainly because I just need to make sure I'm getting that work in. All right, we'll get the extra hamstring, glute, erector. Get all that in there. We're going to need that to deadlift. Obviously to squat too. But my squatting, I don't feel like that's truly limiting my squatting. Probably adductors, abductors, upper back. So that's where we need the rowing. And that means the upright rows too, not just all the inverted rows. That's where we need the shrugs. We've got to bring that whole upper back up. Got to keep building it. But I need the adductor and the abductor. And I feel like for me, the only things that really hammer those for me is the box squatting and the speed boxes. And we're going to start going back to my normal waves. So it's going to be a little more bar weight. Going to rotate chains and bands. Keep that stance out ultra wide. That'll help build those areas. But the glute ham raise is going to be really, really critical for me in doing that. Okay. That and then like my hanging leg raises and stuff. But I've had to back off a little on those with the shoulders. But now that it's doing a lot better, I think I'll be able to rotate them back in. Okay, get those rotated back in. They're going to make a big difference because it does work my hip flexors a lot. But then those abductors, or the adductors, the glute ham raises hit those. They hit them really hard. So do my sled drags. Like my sled drags, I feel in my quads, my adductors, and my calves. Like those things are just pumped ridiculously when I sled drag. So again, we need to do the sled drags. I've got to keep doing them. They're going to be critical. The glute ham raise, the hanging leg raise. Those are what's going to bring that squat up in addition to doing obviously the box squats and all the upper back work. Because that builds everything. Builds everything when combined with the speed squatting. Right? So people will say stuff like, oh, the speed squatting out alone is not going to do everything you do. Well, it builds the base. But all this other stuff hypertrophies the muscles. Okay, we have to hypertrophy all the muscles further. Bigger muscles, it has more strength potential. But we build that technique and a lot of that strength off the speed work. Okay, so that when we test it with maxes, we hit big numbers. But it was a good workout. I'm happy with everything. Hopefully people understand a little more what's going on with the good morning. And then when they saw all the rep work, they realized, oh, okay, well, he actually is really working hard on a different range of motion with the volume for actually building the muscle. That was testing things. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.